for dry when the sun come out. Tell them time is up and them time run out. All the wicked them a flee from the righteous now. If there's ever been a time, then the time is now.
If there ever was a time, then the time is now. So welcome to the Nature's Place podcast, number 1. I'm Ray, and I'll be your host. So I want to be absolutely clear about who we are and our intent. I understand today in this new world we live in that most people are sick of deception. They're sick of being taken on a ride. They want things straight up. They want things made clear. So hey, I'm going to go for it very clearly here. My name is Patrick. In fact, Ray is my middle name. This is the only time I'm going to state this because I want to be Ray. It's my middle name. It was given to me. And it has a significance as far as my mission. Raymond means a ray for the world, a sun ray. So radiating towards the world. I'm a teacher now. This is why I came to this earth. I've known this for a long time. My entire life I've learned so that I would have something to teach. Well, now I'm old and now the stuff's hitting the fan and I need to start teaching what I've learned. So what I've tried to do in my life is collect actionable things that can make a person's life better. So all the basic understandings of our place in the world, why we're here, and what's the goal, what's the scheme here, why are humans born on this earth conscious in a world that's seemingly crazy, and what are we to do, what does leading a fulfilling life means, all these basic things. So the first basic thing that we identified, and it takes a prominent place on our website and will take a prominent place in our education endeavors, is the knowledge about basic nutrition. Human beings function by eating and then receiving elements and then using them. Someone has to sit a little bit with this and think of the implications. We all hear sentences like "you are what you eat," but do you really understand that you actually are every element that you eat? It's physical. You put it in your mouth, it's digested, elements are extracted and ingested into your body and become you. So what's important to understand is that the human body is not what it seems. For one thing, there are more foreign cells in your body than there are human cells. By far, like twice as many plus. So most of you is not in fact you. You are a colony of all kinds of life, and this can be all proven scientifically. So for one thing, you'll notice in the approach at Nature's Place is that I am a spiritualist, but everything that I say is grounded in science. If I can't find a way to explain it in the physical world, then the discussion about the esoteric aspects is meaningless to me. I live in the physical world. The knowledge that I gather has to be actionable in the real world. And so that's the approach with everything here. My life experience has taught me that nutrition is not only basic but essential. That sleeping long enough and drinking pure water and exercising, breathing more than you need, then having a purpose and bathing in sunlight and having friends, having fun, having a purpose, eating seasonally, all these things are not only good for you, they're sort of essential to life. To be fully connected and fully dynamized with the power of life that surrounds you. you don't get connected to God eating junk food. It just doesn't happen. You need the minerals for the energy of the source to connect with your cells. If you're demineralized by drinking reverse osmosis water and never having any food with nutrients, your connection can not possibly be very potent. And so there's ways to improve that. And as you grow older, if you pay attention to these things, you'll realize how potent it is. I've noticed, just an example, as of late, I've been vibe coding, and I'm a tile setter by trade. Another straight up, I spend my days putting little tiles on the wall in waiting for my endeavors here to come up to something so that I can stop tiling and keep teaching. So the food we eat actually becomes us. And so that's why we have spent a lot of energy studying and understanding nutrition. It's actually been my wife's main interest since I met her. Kimberly was a vegetarian at 14 because she couldn't stomach the food her parents fed her. And after meeting a few people that were vegetarians and ate pretty fantastic foods with a crazy variety compared to what she saw at home and spices and all that, her palate opened and she immediately realized, wow, food is something else, and it can be so much better than what my parents are serving me. And so when I met Kimberly, she was already into this, but then she took a class, distance education from the Edison Institute. We learned all about nutrition back, I was in my early 20s when I met Kimberly. This was the start of our journey because we took the course from a newly arrived on the scene independent institute that taught real nutrition, and they had no qualms in telling us about the additives in the food and the different things that were allowed but not very good for the human body, and explained this stuff in depth. And so we came out of it realizing in our early 20s that the only way that we would age well would be to grow our own food, because the food in the store, even organics, are never guaranteed to be clean, for one. They're not tested, as Mike Adams often speaks about. And not only that, the food is often just not nutritive at all. Even organics, if you taste a carrot, organic carrot from California, it tastes like nothing. If you taste a carrot from my garden that we're actually harvesting right now in the middle of the winter, because carrots stay in the ground just fine, even up north in Canada, if you can dig out the snow and dig out your carrot. And by the way, the ground is never frozen under a foot of snow. After a few weeks, the ground thaws under the snow and you can actually retrieve carrots. And they're fresh and they're gorgeous and they're sweet. And the taste of a vegetable or of food tells you how nutritive it is. These are things that you discover in time. We do live in an amazing world, and once you start understanding that you have everything to decipher this world and to lead a fulfilling life, you just need to connect to consciousness and reconnect to nature is the way to do that. So we've spent a lot of time in the basics, studying, understanding food at first and spirituality at the same time. Spirituality has always been an attraction of mine. Since my mother was an atheist, my father was a Catholic. They divorced. I was shipped from one worldview to the other. 7 years old, they divorced. 11 years old, I'm shipped from my mom to my dad, from atheist to Catholic. I'm given a confirmation on the late, wondering why the hell are they eating the flesh and drinking the blood of Christ. It freaked me out, and I asked the priest, and he didn't like it. So I questioned all these things a long time ago. And then I've studied all these and I've come to good understandings on spirituality, on the religions, on this whole thing, and I'll be talking about that. I was appalled at what Christianity did to the religion after reading what Jesus was saying. I remember at 7, 8 years old, identifying heavily with Jesus Christ, understanding his message, but then hearing the priests tell everybody bullshit. So, yeah, I've come to some understanding, and we need to open these discussions. Another thing that I really want to insist on here, as a basic conversation, sort of introduction to who we are, is to set clearly that I don't want to tell anybody how to live their life, or I don't want you to view the world the way I see it. What I want to do is open a conversation. Everything that I've discovered has worked for me, from my perspective, but I understand that not everything that works for me would work for other people, and depending on cultural backgrounds, worldview, all of this, we need to come together to fully understand this right. And my teachings may need to be adjusted, will need to be adjusted to different realities. And I'm a flawed human being just like you. There may be a lot of things that I have not perceived, and I'm really, in fact, what makes me most excited in life is when someone starts to debate me with a potent idea that I had not considered before. When I meet someone who can change my mind, I've just made a friend. And I know that's weird. I'm not built like other people. I welcome confrontation when it's justified, when it's intelligent. I love ideas. I love getting to the bottom of the truth. And this is only done through conversation. Conversation means verse, action, con, which means with. So it's putting words in action together. That's what conversation means. We do something with these words. There's a goal to a conversation, and it's arriving at a conclusion. And people have lost the art of conversing. People get upset when their ideas are challenged, when they should get excited. This is all wrong. This is the American modern ego that tells you that what you know should be the truth and what everybody else thinks is wrong because they're not you. And this is a stupid mindset. We are all the same. We're all a little part of human consciousness. We all have a little spark of it. And the reason why we can't jive together at times is because we've not come to the same level. We have not conversed yet. We have not put our words in action together yet. And getting upset is not conducive to putting words into action. It just isn't. So what I'd like to do is present you stuff, and I need you to respond. I need you to confront. If anything I say sounds, that's not true, I want to understand why. I don't want a bashing match. I want intellectual exchange. That's what's important. That's what's important to God. So we all come here for a purpose. We all share the same purpose. This is another part of my teachings, and I'll be repeating this over and over again. We all share one purpose, and it's leading humanity towards God's plan, whatever that means. God's plan is clear. It's making life better on this earth for everybody. So think about what you're doing. Is what you're doing making life better for everybody? Or is it just making your life better? Or is it making other people's lives worse because it's making yours better, possibly? All that interplay. If you don't have a positive action in God's world, then you're not part of God's plan, are you? So if you're not actively working at making people's lives better, then you're not in mission. We all share the same mission, again, making other people's lives better. So the way I want to do it is to share the information I've found, because I found some potent stuff. And an example of this is total biology. It's described on the website. A lot of folks, as of late, I hear in the alternative health scene, a lot of people talk about the German new medicine. What most people don't know about the German new medicine is that there was work built on top of Reike Gerd Hammer's work. His discoveries were amazing, and they set the stage for something bigger. It came onto the scene, and it was in Quebec and France that it happened. So this all happened in French. And I witnessed it from the Quebec perspective, and I went to see seminars. I saw the phenomenon. I describe it in my book and on the website, and I'll be talking a lot about total biology. But total biology basically explains what illness is in real terms. It's called the total biology of living human beings, of living beings, and it's told as natural history. So every illness is explained in terms of where does it happen in nature, and then why are humans getting it, and a hint, it's all based on emotional conflicts. Chinese medicine is close to this in some aspects. It touches to organs having to do with emotions. Total biology describes it at a level that's not been done before, and I've been over alternative health practices of all kinds my entire life. There's nothing that comes anywhere close to total biology, and the proof is also in what I witnessed. I followed these seminars for a few years, and then the state came down on it and stopped it. I saw the power of social engineering at work. I saw thousands of people that had been cured from incurable illnesses turn against the therapists and the teachers and call us a sect, and it was unbelievable. I will relay this story in full details in the podcast that's coming soon. Today is just setting the stage, so I'm just breezing over this. But anyway, I've collected many experiences like this in my life where I witnessed firsthand really potent stuff, and I saw how everything in the world conspired to eliminate it from the mainstream acknowledgement. And this is the type of stuff I want to talk about. And another recent thing that we discovered and that's going to be prominently featured on the website is astrology. They say that millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. Well, billionaires don't use tropical Western astrology. They don't open the newspaper to read their horoscope. Astrology is an ancient science. It's been around for thousands of years. We in fact have good reasons to believe that astrology emerges out of a shamanic tradition, in fact, because shamanism is basically the observing of the cosmos and human life and bringing those two together, which is exactly what astrology does. As of late, online, there is a recurrence of real sky astrology. People have taken astrology back into their own hands. They looked at the sky and realized that the tropical Western astrology is 28 days off from where the sky actually is. So when they tell you that some planet enters a constellation, well, they're usually a month off, sometimes years off when it's the outer planet. The cycle is 28 degrees offset, basically, because they locked it in 2,000 years ago, and they never considered the precession of the equinox, which moves the whole thing by 1 degree every 72 years. And if you do the math, since they locked it in, it's now 28 degrees off of its real place in the sky. So, of course, astrology has been ridiculed. But if you go to my website, I strongly suggest you do this. Go and try the app. Enter your birth date, your place of birth, and the birth time if you have it. And then get a reading. The basic reading will probably suffice, just your sun and your moon and a rising sign reading. It's pretty accurate. When we discovered it, we pulled the 4 charts from the 4 people in my family, my wife, I, and my 2 kids, and it's amazingly accurate. It describes all of us to the teeth. And so we started to get into it more and more, and the more we discover, the more there's potent things in there. There's dates that can be isolated, and it works perfectly with total biology, in fact. So in fact, what Nature's Place, the bigger picture of Nature's Place, is a new theory on illness. It's a new way of seeing health, and health is the wrong word. It's what we need to be is live in consciousness, and any disharmony with consciousness can go into illness. It goes into dysfunction of all kinds, and illness is just some of those dysfunctions. If we cannot live in consciousness and thrive in consciousness when we meet trauma, then we bury and we become distant from ourselves, and that is the source of most suffering. I think I'm going to leave it there for today, because this is just an introduction, and I don't want to make these podcasts very long. I don't have a lot of time. I've considered even podcasting at work while tiling, and I might do that. We'll see. I'm finding that this is extremely hard. I'm going to try and be more organized and have a better layout to do these podcasts, but I thought I'd do this first one off the cuff, so let's see what happens. I'm going to put this one out, and I'll see you in the next one.